from the station that's working for you. You're watching Fox 4 News at 9.
Intense storms pummel the metro, bringing hurricane-force winds. The storm uprooted trees, flooded roads, left thousands of people without power, and damaged buildings all across the region.
Wife and I was just sitting there, and they called up and said, "Hey, church lost its roof."
And tonight we're breaking down what happened and now how the metro is picking up the pieces. Welcome to Fox 4 News at 9 o'clock. I'm Kevin Barry.
I'm Lauren Halifax. Calm now, but boy, that was not the case a few hours ago. Meteorologist Jacob Lanier has been tracking the system as it moves on. Jacob?
Yeah, so what happened, guys, is we had almost a derecho move through the Kansas City metro, 150-mile-per-hour long path here of significant hurricane-force winds. Those started back near Manhattan and Topeka, and they moved right through the Kansas City metro. The strongest wind reported from the day actually came out of Johnson County, 80 miles per hour in parts of Leawood, Kansas, on the Kansas side. And out towards Lawrence, we had a 75-mile-per-hour gust, and 70-mile-per-hour gust stretched all the way into Pettis County, Missouri, down near Sedalia. So widespread wind damage reports here across the metro, but the storms are now long gone here. Fox 4 radar looking much calmer this evening at 9:01. We have a couple of showers down in Benton County near Warsaw, but that is about it. We're drying out here in the metro. Clouds are slowly clearing. Now the severe storm complex has moved through Joplin, now into northwestern Arkansas, Fayetteville. They're seeing some of those strong winds and also a severe thunderstorm on the Illinois side of the St. Louis metro. So we're going to be drying out tonight. Clouds slowly clearing, temperatures down to 68 degrees by sunrise tomorrow. And tomorrow our winds shift behind the storms, a northwesterly breeze that's going to lower humidity a little bit. Still warm and sunny though, with those gusts in the afternoon about 20 miles per hour. So dry for your Saturday. We'll look ahead to the rest of the weekend forecast coming up in a little bit, guys.
Jacob, thank you. As the high winds and rain have moved on, storm damage reports are coming in as people can get out and take stock.
Yeah, Fox 4's Dave DeMarco followed the leading edge of that storm from Kansas to Missouri. He's live now in Brookside tonight with video of some of the damage that's been left behind on the Missouri side. What are you seeing there, Dave?
And this is one of, I'm sure, hundreds of trees or giant limbs that is here behind me. We're here at 55th Terrace and Oak. Now, there's no street sign up there to tell me that. That's because it's actually been blown down here inside this tree. Now, thankfully, it didn't come down on this home, but we saw trees on homes, on cars, flooded roads, and arcing power lines. Just some of the things that people are dealing with as this cleanup begins, and it could take several days.
Strong storms moved into Missouri after 4 this afternoon, bringing wind and rain.
Came in pretty fast. The clouds were really low and it just hit. It was coming from every different direction, really.
The wind downed trees from Grandview to Kansas City, where even a firefighter had to deal with a tree on his home, and drivers near the Abbott in Kansas City were experiencing flash flooding. In Independence, we saw trees on homes from 40th Street to 27th Terrace, where one was dangerously close to this giant tree that came crashing through her dining room. Larry Little had damage in his Independence neighborhood, too.
My neighbor, big tree came down on his garage and part of his house.
And a couple miles away, part of the roof blew off over the auditorium at Sterling Acres Baptist Church, where he's a deacon.
And it's not raining real hard, so just with a lot of prayer, it's not going to be saturated in there, and there's not going to be a lot of damage.
Cleanup just underway across the metro as crews had to wait out dangerous 14th of July light shows. With sparking power lines at 68th and Grand seem more like fireworks.
And those sparking power lines weren't the only electrical concern. I'm just talking about not just the power outages, but also the lightning that this storm packed as it was coming through. In fact, one strike came just a few feet from us as we were traveling in our Jeep going along with the storm there over the Kansas River. So, Kevin, I'm sure this is a storm that I soon won't forget, or a lot of people here across the metro, unfortunately.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. Those straight line winds can be incredibly powerful, like that tree behind you shows. Thank you, Dave. Dave DeMarco live in Brookside tonight.
Tonight, nearly 130 Well, actually, more than that. 138,000 customers for Evergy still have no power. The highest concentration of people without electricity are in Johnson County, where more than 20% of homes are still in the dark. Also in Wyandotte County. And Fox 4 Shannon Russo is in Johnson County tonight with a look at some of the damage there in a neighborhood. Shannon?
And Lauren, this is by far some of the worst damage that we've seen going around Johnson County all day. This is a home here in Overland Park with a massive oak tree that once stood tall outside. But as you can see, those storms just uprooted it. Take a look how deep that is and sent the tree flying into this home, crashing down. This shows just how strong and powerful the storms this afternoon were. The family is okay, but as you can imagine, it's going to take quite some time before their house looks normal once again. The quiet after Friday's storm revealing immense damage in Johnson County. Getting home for some is proving to be challenging as a downed tree blocks the entrance to this Overland Park neighborhood. Uprooted trees toppled onto homes all over in Leawood, Shawnee, and Overland Park.
I believe lightning hit that tree and it came down.
The Colley family is doing fine after the tree in their front yard came crashing down with everyone inside as it happened. Scary and loud is how they described it.
It sounded like a loud stomp at first, but then when I looked outside, I saw the tree fell.
Right now, more than 64,000 Evergy customers in Johnson County are without power. Evergy announcing it could take days before everyone's power is back.
I mean, that's unfortunate. We've got freezers and fridges full of food that's gonna go bad.
And for reference, wind speeds in this area reach 70 to 80 miles per hour at their strong point. We did see one gas company out here today getting things worked out, and neighbors also tell us they saw some Evergy crews just a few neighborhoods down, Lauren, getting down power lines fixed.
Shannon Russo, thank you.
Downed limbs and uprooted trees are littering the metro tonight. You're looking at some video right now that shows a tree down in KCK hitting the back of a car. We're hearing several homes and vehicles were damaged by the strong winds all over the place. Independence officials say if you see a tree or a power line on a light pole, be sure to report it as soon as possible. Meanwhile, the city of Overland Park says crews are working around the clock now trying to clear trees in that community that are blocking the roads. The Overland Park Police Department is using its walk-in accident protocol now. That means any non-injury crashes should just report their crashes later. You should only call 911 when somebody is hurt, the vehicle isn't drivable, or if a driver is suspected of being impaired. Officials also say you should watch for intersections where the street lights are out. Be sure to treat those like four-way stops.
Winds were estimated at 60 miles an hour at least and tore through the Wyandotte County Fairgrounds where the fair's been going on. Our Fox 4 crews caught this dramatic video. Some of the vendors' tents were just hurtling through the air, knocked over. Many of the fair's activities were suspended tonight because of the weather. The rodeo and the livestock auction were able to go on as scheduled, and we caught up with the chairman of the fair board who says one woman was hurt.
I think one of the sun tents started blowing away and it came and injured her, either a tent stake or a tent pole, I'm not sure. But she had a cut on her head and they were treating her.
The Wyandotte County Fair started back in 1868, still a big favorite with local families. All the activities will be back on tomorrow. Some of the events that have been canceled around the metro are trying to reschedule for this weekend. So we're working for you with the full list, as well as what you need to do with all the debris left behind in your yard. You can visit those stories on our website, fox4kc.com/on4. Coming up, why a metro business at the center of a shooting that killed 3 and injured 9 people could soon lose its license.
And a record-setting day at KCI. What's sending so many people to the skies right now? Watching Fox 4 News at 9. The business license for a shop running an illegal nightclub on Prospect Avenue may be revoked.
3 people were shot and killed there on June 26. 9 others were badly injured that night. Police say the owners of this auto repair shop are operating an illegal nightclub there after hours. So Kansas City, Missouri leaders say they want to shut it down since it's a danger to the community. Police records indicate officers have been called there 39 times in the last year, all in the late night hours. Melissa Johnson's a deputy chief of staff to Mayor Quinton Lucas. She says those business licenses do not authorize a bar or nightclub to operate there.
We have victim families to answer to. We have neighbors surrounding that business. Make no mistake, that is a residential area, and this is just 1 year of constant mayhem.
So the business operators can appeal later to get their license back at an upcoming meeting. Neighbors say they haven't seen them at the auto shop much since that shooting.
Missouri State Highway Patrol is issuing a silver alert now for a Pleasant Hill woman with Alzheimer's. Take a look at your screen right now. This is 75-year-old Sandra Brosson she was last seen around 11 this morning around 1919 Valley View in Pleasant Hill, Missouri. Police say she left her home in a blue 2006 Ford Freestar. Officials say she might be heading to Castle Rock, Colorado. If you see Sandra, you're asked to call 911.
Okay, so we saw a lot of wind damage with this, but it was some beneficial rainfall for the Kansas City Metro. We'll look at rainfall totals from around the city and what to expect for your weekend forecast next.
The new Kansas City International Airport broke a record today. Traffic is up big time.
Officials say they're seeing more people there than they have in more than a decade. FOX4's Reagan Porter finds out why.
People are traveling at the new Kansas City International Airport terminal for many different reasons.
On a cruise?
Work.
We are heading to Hawaii for vacation. It's prime vacation time. One lucky four-legged friend is coming along for the ride.
I don't know, I got a little dog, so we're going to see how that works out for us.
Darren Parsons says parking was rough.
It's just packed.
But passengers inside say it's running smoothly.
The line's moving, there's nobody, it's great.
Compared to most airports, today is pretty smooth, even with the heavy traffic.
Justin Meyer with the airport says Friday will be the busiest travel day here in 15 years. Airlines at KCI will operate more than 47,700 arriving and departing seats. The new terminal brought new flights, but he says bigger planes are making the big impact.
The new terminal has eliminated a lot of the constraints that airlines had in place about how big of aircraft they could fly here. We had a flight to Cancun this morning that Frontier operated with 230 seats on that aircraft. So bigger flights, bigger jets, moving lots of passengers out of Kansas City and into Kansas City.
That's Reagan Porter reporting tonight. Meanwhile, test strips that detect the date rape drugs aren't classified anymore as drug paraphernalia in the state of Kansas. Options, Domestic and Sexual Violence Services in Hayes helps sexual assault victims all over northwest Kansas. They say these test strips are especially important because healthcare options are very spread out.
We have found that in rural communities, people are often less aware of safety and prevention. They're less aware of predatory behaviors.
So Options now is trying to have test strips available across the 18 counties they serve. Those organizations say that these strips are good, but you shouldn't rely only on them.
First Student Kansas City hosted a hiring fair earlier today. First Student is a school bus company. They're looking to hire, train, and employ up to 40 new bus drivers. Driving a school bus is an ideal career for anybody looking for especially a part-time job. Hours are flexible and drivers get school holidays and summers off. You do get a chance for extra hours with field trips and sporting events. Today, the attendees were given on-the-spot interviews and a chance to test drive around the parking lot.
Kids will be back in school before we know it, and the Love Fund for Children is helping some Metro students get the school supplies they need. It turns out you can help. A $25 donation will give a student a backpack and all the supplies they need inside it. To donate, go to fox4kc.com/back-to-school.
Well, boy, what a day here across the metro with those strong and severe storms that moved through earlier this afternoon. Right now at 9:18, kind of the last remaining clouds from this storm system starting to move out as we overlook downtown Kansas City. And I know that we had a lot of power outages and storm damage, but when we look on the bright side, we did get some pretty good rainfall amounts. Hopefully this will kind of help our drought situation that we've kind of seen perpetuate for most of the summer. So what your weather app can't tell you here tonight, rainfall totals, Baser, nearly 5 inches. And this is why we saw some localized flooding here this afternoon. Lenexa out in Johnson County, nearly 3 inches. Lee's Summit on the Missouri side recording 2 inches along with Lawrence. And downtown airport in downtown Kansas City at 1.9 inches of rainfall. So some solid rain totals across the metro. It was a little less if you were well north of town. I know some spots spots. Sad they missed out on some of the heaviest rainfall, but still pretty good rain reports coming in from across the city. Now that line of damaging winds is entering northern Arkansas as it's kind of leaving the state of Missouri. And notice the cloud deck, kind of the back edge of those clouds right now moving through the metro. So no more rain here on FOX4 warn radar. A couple of stray showers south of Warsaw down towards Lake of the Ozarks, but that's about it as skies are starting to clear out here for this evening. So temperature right now 70, far cry from where we were earlier this afternoon before the storms came through. We hit a high temp of 95 degrees, and that northerly wind helping to drop our humidity levels just a little bit for tonight as well. So overnight lows by sunrise Saturday, 67 here in the metro, mid to upper 60s across the region. And tomorrow is going to be a nice day. We have sunshine, pretty typical for mid-July, with a lunchtime temp of 82 and a high tomorrow around 89 degrees. It's not going to be quite as muggy, still humid though outside, even though we have a northwest wind about 10 miles per hour. So highs around the 90 mark for tomorrow, low 90s up across the north. Again, these feels like numbers, the humidity not too bad, so lower 90s is going to be kind of that peak heat index for tomorrow. So a doubleheader out at the K tomorrow for the Royals because today's game was moved. So game 1 at 1:10, 84 degrees with sunshine. Will be in the upper 80s, closer to 90 for that 6:10 second game against the Rays. And the next big change that I'm watching here in the forecast is going to be another scattered storm chance by the end of the weekend, really kind of for Sunday afternoon here across the area. So the storms tonight are now long gone. Tomorrow we'll have lots of sunshine as those skies kind of clear on out for us. So through the day, Saturday staying dry. The humidity kind of dropping a little bit as we head into the weekend, but not enough to kind of negate our storm chances. So on the Long Ranger, tomorrow is going to be a good day to kind of clean up the yard. I think that's going to be what a lot of folks across the metro are going to be doing. Another storm chance Sunday evening and afternoon. Pop-up storms, not expecting severe storms though, a high of 90. And the temperatures stay kind of warm here. 88 degrees Monday, low to mid 90s for Tuesday and Wednesday. Another shower chance there on Tuesday. So we're going to kind of continue to be stuck in this pattern. I'm not expecting any storms like we had today though, that's for sure. But some scattered storm chances continue for Sunday and early next week. The heat sticking around as well. At least tomorrow will be dry and not too hot so people can kind of clean up the mess that might be in the backyard, you know.
Thing is, we needed this rain though.
We did, and solid 2 to 4 inches across the metro should hopefully really put a dent in the drought.
Those lower temperatures feel so much better.
Yeah, they do tonight.
Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah.
Chiefs gearing up for their opening game. And coming up next in sports, here from the player who's taking on his hometown squad. Watching Fox 4 News at 9.